Hello there, a very good morning, and thank you so much for joining us today and watching Smart24 TV, where we drive your business. My name is Anthony Sebale, and this is Financial Markets. Now, of course, it's a very wonderful Tuesday and Wednesday rather. Welcome back from, of course, the holidays there, from the Easter holidays. The markets have been quite closed for some time, considering, of course, the Easter season here in Uganda and in the East African region and most of the other parts of Africa. But of course, we are back now to, of course, give you what's happening, of course, as we also watch the unveiling of the markets this week. And later on, of course, earnings from different companies and, of course, also getting to look into the crypto and the world stock exchanges, especially in the United States. Just remember before we go ahead that you need to check out Altex East Africa. If you are a trader of treasury bonds or you're interested in particular trading within East African treasury bond markets, Altex East Africa is saying they can give you this access to the market with a simple dial of your phone. Now, with Altex East Africa, you can be able to transact money from your mobile money wallet to the Altex platform. All you need to do is to go to your phone and dial *292#. Now, when you do that, you can be able to follow the prompts and be able to buy the latest treasury bonds on the market with your phone and with your mobile money, starting with as low as 15,000 Ugandan shillings and onwards. Altex opens their doors at 8:15 and closes at 3 p.m. Of course, with Altex East Africa, we are saying you can do something new. Let's get now to dive right into the business here on the Uganda Securities Exchange. Considering the trading on the 11th of April, that was yesterday, on Tuesday, the day ended with a total of close to 2.9 million shares. Approximately 3 million shares traded in total on the Uganda Stock Exchange. Now, this is corresponding to a total market value on Tuesday of at least 317 million Ugandan shillings. Comparing this with the Thursday tradings, remember the markets were last opened on Thursday on the 6th of April. That was on Holy Thursday. And during this trading, we had at least comparing it with yesterday's trading, we had an improvement of at least 679% in the turnover, and the volumes as well improved on the market. The current market capitalization also slightly moved upwards to 19.9 trillion Ugandan shillings on the Uganda Securities Exchange. Now, in aggregate, we had 5 listings of the 18 listings on the exchange participate in trading in a day that saw the day end with at least 3 gainers and 7 losers. Now, some of the participants included the Bank of Baroda stock, the Stanbic Bank Uganda stock, and Wumeme, as well as MTN Uganda, the usual big boys on the market. However, Bank of Baroda rallied the markets with 1,497,945 shares volume that was recorded on the second day of trading, but the first weekday of trading. Now, following also the gainers here on the market, DFCU Bank also came in as the top gainer with a total gain of 30%. Now, that's a pretty huge gain there for DFCU Bank to a total of 390 shillings. Now, this was a gain of 90 shillings in a single day, from 300 shillings to accounting for over % of value here on the Uganda Securities Exchange. In the last couple of weeks and days, the DFCU Bank has lost quite some amount of value, with the last 1 week seeing a drop of at least 25%, in 4 weeks as well, 25% and 28.2% in this particular quarter. Now, getting to look at the DFCU stock with the price of 0.0 Ugandan since then, they have lost at least 28.2% in the last 3 months, which is covering the last quarter. And when you look at the ranking on the Uganda Securities Exchange, currently DFCU Bank is ranked the 15th stock in terms of year-to-date performance. Shareholders' worries can be compounded by the fact that DFCU has lost 25% of its value since the 9th of March. That is in the last 1 month. However, gaining, of course, yesterday kind of rejuvenated the stock with a gain of 90 shillings up to a price of 390 shillings. Looking at the news currently on the DFCU, there was a new appointment made by DFCU just a couple of hours ago. That is on the top seat of the management, that is of the company. And according to a notice that was released by the company through the Uganda Securities Exchange, the board of directors of DFCU Limited informed its customers that the DFCU chairmanship or the seat of the chief executive officer was taken over by Mr. Charles Mwanyara Mudiwa on appointment by the board of directors as the new managing director effective of 11th of April 2023. That is yesterday. Now, Mr. Charles brings on board a 26 years experience in the banking sector with very strong business profitability. He has served as the chief executive officer of Stanbic Bank Kenya and Stanbic Bank Zambia Limited and the Standard Bank of Malawi, amongst others. He has a very huge wealth of experience in governance, having, of course, served in several roles as in the Stanbic Bank of Zambia, director in several firms, for example, Edulon Limited in South Africa and Agribank Zimbabwe. Charles was also the founding chairman of Liberty Insurance Company Zambia and the past chairman of the Bankers Association of Zambia. Now, the board of directors of DFCU appreciated, of course, the former chief executive officer, and that was none other than Mr. William Sekabembe, for effectively leading the bank as the acting chief executive officer since the 1st of February 2023 through to the 10th of April 2023. Now, I don't know if this is good news, but definitely it sounds like it is, because with the experience this man has, definitely he's the most suitable for the top job in DFCU Bank. Looking back at DFCU's performance, remember in the past couple of years, DFCU hasn't issued a dividend, and this is notably, especially in last year's performance. Last year, DFCU had a reduction in revenues, and that, of course, hampered their dividend issuance, which definitely had a very huge impact on the company's performance on the stock exchange. Now, this year, we are, of course, waiting anxiously for the financial reports, audited financial reports to be released, and they will be released soon. But, of course, with new leadership comes new experience and probably a new touch on the company that has lasted quite a number of years in Uganda and continues to be one of the leading financial institutions as well in the country. So that definitely is something to look up to. DFCU Bank has a new chief executive officer. What is he bringing on board? Is he going to get better revenue for the bank? Is he going to have more of a corporate and social governance? And are we going to see DFCU Bank also rise in the ranks in terms of assets? Definitely those are questions that Mr. Mudiwa definitely is going to have to look answers to. Away from DFCU Bank, Stanbic Bank Uganda also added 4.76% to the shareholders' value yesterday. Now, Stanbic Bank Uganda and the Standard Bank, of course, is the biggest one of the institutions in the country. This year, they had a growth in profit to a tune of at least 366 billion, and that was after, of course, releasing a part or partial results of their audited financial results for last year. Now, getting to look at the stock performance recently, there was a stagnation in the pricing of the stock at 21 shillings, and this has changed after the company's stock saw a rise of 1 shilling up to a price of 22 shillings, which is a 4.76% value in total added to every single shareholder on Stanbic Bank Uganda. Now, Stanbic Bank Uganda's stock that traded on Tuesday was a total of 1 million shares, and with a total volume, a total turnover of rather about 22 million Ugandan shillings. Shares outstanding currently still stand at 51.2 billion shares and 1.13 trillion market capitalization. As per the data, on the Uganda Securities Exchange, on their last weekday of trading, on their first weekday of trading, the company experienced a shift in price from 21 to 22 Ugandan shillings. However, they began the year with still 21 shillings, and that means in their year-to-date performance, they're still maintaining a 4.76% gain. This makes them the second in terms of trade, in terms of year-to-date performance on the Uganda Securities Exchange. Now, Stanbic Bank Uganda, however, still maintains the #1 spot in terms of the trading volumes in the last quarter. Stanbic Bank within the last 3 months has seen a total of at least 167 million traded shares on the market, and this is at a value of 3.81 billion Ugandan shillings on the market. And over the period, we've had an average of at least 2.65 million shares traded at every single trading session. Definitely very good news for Stanbic. And of course, we are still awaiting for the final dividend announcement. They have not yet posted their results on the Uganda Securities Exchange portal, but definitely they will be doing that very soon, because at least according to Miss Anjuko, who is the current Chief Executive Officer or the Managing Director of the company, they made a profit of at least 366 billion, which is a growth from at least 247 billion last year and 243 billion in the year 2020. Definitely the bank is growing, and so are the shareholders' value on the Uganda Securities Exchange. Now, Umeme as well gained at least 0.12% on Tuesday tradings after closing at a price of 380 shillings. Umeme currently is listed on the Uganda Securities Exchange with a market capitalization of 617 billion Ugandan shillings. Now, the company's stock represents 3.09% of the entire Uganda Securities Exchange, and the company has been trading on the exchange since 2012, when it got listed on the main board of the Uganda Securities Exchange. Yesterday's volumes were to a tune of at least 425,400 shares, and these were valued at 162 million Ugandan shillings. A 1.62 billion shares volume still remains outstanding on the Uganda Securities Exchange for the stock. Now, Umeme has had a very good 2023 and a good end of 2022 as well. Well, one of the things that they have been able to achieve is a very wonderful appreciation, a steady appreciation in price. Let me get to break it down. In the last 1 week, Umeme has gained 14.7%. In the last 4 weeks, Umeme has added at least 26.7%. And in the last 3 months, 37.7%. And when we go back to 6 months back, Umeme's stock has appreciated at least 90%. That's how big Umeme's stock currently is. on the Uganda Securities Exchange. In the last 1 year, of course, it's a little bit smaller because, of course, last year the company started with very strong stocks, and currently they're counting. Actually, it's quite big. When you look at the gap here, we're talking about 117%. It's just the year to date that is 38.2%. As per the data, they began the year with 275 shillings, and that was after an appreciation from 210 shillings in December. But as per the 3rd of January, when the markets were open officially for 2023 trading, the company's stock was at 275 shillings per share. Now, the company has so far gained 38.2% on that 275 shillings, which is still the best year-to-date performance. Now, as if that is not enough, shareholders can be highly optimistic about the stock, knowing that it has also accrued in just the past 4 weeks over 27%. And of course, yesterday adding 0.45 shillings and having a 0.12% appreciation as well. Now, currently, when you look at Wumeme stock trading, they are the second most traded on stock on the Uganda Securities Exchange out of the 18 listings. And this is, of course, coming behind Stanbic Bank Uganda. Now, Stanbic Bank Uganda's stock is at as low as 22 shillings. And we are talking about a stock having a price of over 380 shillings and now currently in the second place in terms of trading. That's how big Stanbic Bank stock currently is as per the data here before my eyes. Now, in the past 3 months, from the 5th of April to from the 5th of January to the 11th of April, they have traded at least 20.2 million shares. Just conceptualizing the volumes here for you to get to understand what I am actually talking about. These shares are valued also at the biggest turnover in the last 1 quarter. Of course, the Capital Markets Authority will be releasing the quarterly bulletin results there, but I'm just cheating a little bit of results here that could be appearing in the quarterly bulletin for the Capital Markets Authority. In the last 3 months, the data shows they have at least 6.32 billion Ugandan shillings traded. What a day for the Wumeme stock. But of course, remember, they also announced that their dividend will be going up this year. Last year, they issued at least 54.9 Ugandan shillings per share to every single shareholder as dividend. This year, they lift the stake to at least 63.9 Ugandan shillings for every single share. Now, in the history of the Uganda Securities Exchange, this is one of the biggest dividends. I'm not very sure 100% that it is the best ever, but I am quite sure they are the best this year when it comes to dividend. And that's why it's hard to find anyone currently willing to sell any stocks at Wumeme. You know, the stock exchange just doesn't work like any sophisticated market. Just like any market, when you have demand up, definitely the prices are going to be up there, all right? The higher the demand. You know the demand supply curve and you know the simple economics of demand and supply. When the supply is high, definitely prices drop. But what we are seeing at Wumeme is what really happens in the common markets. The markets we know, the commodity markets, when you have a good and very high demand, definitely the prices shoot up because lesser people are willing to actually let go of that good because it has become scarce. So this is what is happening currently at Wumeme. The stock is very scarce and hard to find. And actually checking in on the volumes, their volumes on Tuesday were 425,400 shares, and these were valued at 162 million. That's how big currently the Wumeme stocks are. Those were the only 3 gainers on the Uganda Securities Exchange, and they rallied the Uganda Securities Exchange. We had a couple of losers, mainly, of course, the listings, cross listings from Nairobi, and these, of course, dragged down the all-share index. Among them were East African breweries losing at least 2.04%, Centum Investments losing at least 0.66%, and East African breweries, rather Equity Bank Limited at a 0.54% loss, and Kenya Airways losing 0.6%. The Jubilee Holdings stock at a 0.43% loss, and NMG at a 0.11%. Now, generally speaking, the all-share index lost at least over 0.81 points, of course attributable to the poor performance of mainly the cross listings. The all-share index closed at 1,137 points. And that's the trading, my friend, from the Uganda Securities Exchange, crossing over to Nairobi, the biggest and busiest stock exchange in East Africa. Now, the all-share index for the Nairobi Stock Exchange dropped at least 0.65 points after the Tuesday tradings saw at least 47 listings participate in trading, with the day ending with 15 gainers and 25 losers. East African Cables led the gainers with a 9.76% share price appreciation, closing at 0.90 Kenyan shillings per share, whereas TPS East African Serena gained 8.33%, and East African Portland Cement 4.44%. Now, on the losing side, Liberty Kenya Holdings came out last with the price depreciation of 9.23%, down to a price of 4.03 Kenyan shillings per share. Now, as per the traders on the day, Safaricom recorded the biggest volume of at least 5.05 million shares, and KCB at 3.94 million shares. Now, compared to the Thursday tradings, there was a decline in the volumes, at least 11%, and at least over 3% decline in the turnover as well on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Getting to cross over to the international stocks here, US stocks on Tuesday wavered as, of course, key inflation data and, of course, the start of the earnings season loomed on the week's calendar. The S&P 500, by 5 minutes past 12 p.m. Eastern Time, had at least 0.13%, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average gained about 0.4%, and the technology-heavy Nasdaq Composite dipped by 0.37%. As per the government bond yields, they were higher on Tuesday evening, and the yield on the 10-year Treasury bond edged higher by 3.443%, while the rate-sensitive 2-year note yields rose to 4.056% on Tuesday. Wall Street kicked off this week on a modestly upbeat note, ahead, of course, of the inflation data out on Wednesday. That is tomorrow, actually today. Of course, today, I'm talking today because we are in Uganda, but of course, in the United States, we are still, some of the parts are still in Tuesday. And the S&P 500, when you look at the losses here, the early losses were to finish session higher of up to about 0.1%. Now, inflation data will dominate the headlines this week, and the bank earnings also in sight. Economists surveyed by Bloomberg expect at least March's consumer price index to climb 0.3%. From February's figure, lowering the year-over-year inflation rate to 5.2%. That's the projection, of course, from the markets. Now, getting to get a snippet into the crypto markets. Crypto markets are doing quite well. Of course, thank God for Bitcoin's rallying here on the crypto market. The Bitcoin is currently at $30,506 US per coin, a 4.49% appreciation in the last one day, that's 24 hours. And Ethereum, the second biggest coin, is at 914.16 points, and this is at a 1.29% appreciation. And Binance coin is at 326.4 0.34 United States dollars, which is a 4.12% appreciation as well. Those are the updates for you there, my friend, and thank you so much for joining me once again this morning. Remember to always check out financial markets at exactly 10 a.m. But of course, I want to remind you about Altex before I go. Altex East Africa is reminding you can buy treasury bonds in East Africa with a simple dial of *292# on your mobile phone. With Altex East Africa, we are saying you can do something new because we get money off your mobile phone to the platform and get to buy your treasury bonds with as little as 15,000 and above. And of course, that is at the watch of the Capital Markets Authority. We are regulated and licensed by the Capital Markets Authority. Altex East Africa, do something new. And that's it, my friend. Thank you so much once again. A lot is, of course, coming your way. Smart24 TV means business 24 hours, 7 days a week. So stick around for more business information. As for me and the team, bye for now.